the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. We are waking up to a few clouds out there, but as we head through the afternoon, sunshine will return with warmer temperatures. So definitely keep it here. We'll talk about that in just a bit.
Get your belongings and you get out.
Get your belongings and you get out. Coming up this Sunday morning on DC News Now, a woman losing her life, over a dozen more sent to the hospital after an apartment goes up in flames. We're going to take you right to the scene in Silver Spring, where we talk with people about what it was like rushing out of their complex before the sun even rose. Also this morning, DC police releasing controversial body cam footage showing the moment one of their officers shoots a man who ended up not being the suspect they were looking for. That officer now on administrative leave. We're going to break down that video coming up. And then we want to take you to Ohio, where you got residents in this very small town still unsure if it's safe to live there. Frustration's growing after that train derailment over 2 weeks ago and the toxic chemicals it was carrying. We got lots to go over this busy Sunday morning, but first a live look at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It looks good, winter, spring, summer, or fall, and we don't really know what it feels like nowadays. It's technically winter. Brittany, can you help us out with what's going on outside? Because it's going to be like 50s today, then it's going to be almost 80 degrees in the DMV later on this week, but then we're going to go back down. Like, what's going on?
For today, definitely going to feel like spring. We're going to be holding on to those spring-like temperatures as we head throughout the first half of our work week, and then we got 70s to talk about in the forecast. So satellite and radar showing you the entire mid-Atlantic. You can see we're dealing with clouds as we kickstart your morning, but through this afternoon, we're going to be seeing sunshine return to the area. Temperatures right now, they are still fairly cool out there. 42 currently in DC, 33 there in Hagerstown, 29 as you head over there to Woodstock. So if you are stepping out the door for an early breakfast or heading to church service, just have that jacket on hand. You can ditch it though as we head into the afternoon. Once the sunshine begins to rise across the area, we're going to be seeing those temperatures warm up into the upper 50s to lower 60s across the board. And overall, it is shaping out to be a beautiful Sunday, but we are tracking rain as we kickstart your work week, and those 70s will be returning at the end of the week. So definitely keep it here. We'll talk about that in just a bit.
All right, that is Brittany Ward to start us off there from the Weather Center. Brittany, thank you. We begin this morning with just devastating news. Over 400 people cannot call the Arrive apartment complex in Silver Spring their home right now, because at this time yesterday, over 100 firefighters were rushing to put out a massive fire on the 7th floor. One person died, and of the over dozen people who were sent to the hospital, one still remains in critical condition. Our Dave Laval on the scene last night, he found out that the apartment building lacked a critical safety feature that could have made a difference.
Vic Washington captured the flames shooting from the Arrive apartment complex in Silver Spring from the 3rd floor.
Very traumatic experience, very traumatic. You jump into emergency mode. You know, you get your belongings and you get out.
Washington lives there on the B side of the 2-tower complex. The fire started around 6 a.m. Saturday on the 7th floor of the A building. Washington and others say they heard what they thought were explosions. Those, according to Montgomery County Fire and Rescue, were likely aerosol cans that overheated. Alarms alerted tenants about the fire, but that's all they had.
This building does not have sprinklers in the residential units.
Fire Chief Scott Goldstein said the more than 50-year-old apartment complex where one person died in the fire was not required to have sprinklers.
This building is appropriate to the code at the time it was constructed. Okay, so there's a number, roughly 80 buildings in Montgomery County that are multi-story residentials that are not sprinkler equipped.
I think all apartments and apartment buildings and inside apartments should have a sprinkler system.
Demetrius Wheeler lives on the 2nd floor of Tower A. His apartment is fine. Wheeler knew about the lack of sprinklers when he moved into the building.
I feel left out, you know what I'm saying, not safe, not protected. So, yeah, very concerning.
While firefighters said some tenants could get back into the building overnight, Others said they've been told by management it could be days, weeks, or even months before they're allowed to return home. In Silver Spring, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
All right, Dave, with that critical update there, thanks so much. 3 firefighters were also treated. They were released for minor injuries. We'll keep you updated as more information comes into our newsroom. In the meantime, it's 8:04. Now to a story of an incredible recovery after a fire in downtown Frederick destroyed several businesses. DC News Now's Michaela Newton covers Western Maryland for us. She reports one of those businesses has reopened, and it's all thanks to the community who donated thousands to bring these shops back to life.
Frederick residents now have a place to buy new records once again.
I got 4 records. I got some Biggie, I got Mac Miller, Pink Floyd.
This wasn't possible 5 months ago. Just 2.5 blocks from here was the old Record Exchange, along with other nearby businesses that were completely destroyed by a fire. Since then, the Record Exchange has rebuilt and business is booming. The business reopened on February 4th.
You lock up your store, you go home thinking you're going to go to work next day, and the next thing you know, you're standing outside watching water pour through your ceiling. I mean, I was watching records flow down to my front door.
He says he couldn't have done it without the community's help. Generous donors gave about $38,000 through GoFundMe.
I was elated. I mean, I was so glad, and the way they have it designed on this one too, just like the flooring, it's amazing. I'm really happy that they got to, get back on their feet.
It's like a whole new world. I mean, it was pretty depressing for a while there, and now that we've reopened, it's just like a whole new life.
Reporting in Frederick, Maryland, Michaela Newton, DC News Now.
And developing now in the district, yet another fire to report on. DC Fire and EMS responding to a fire on Rhode Island Avenue in Northwest. It happened at around 2:30 this morning. They say one person was taken to the hospital and also requested a dog be taken to the vet. 2 more people and 2 more pets were displaced because of this fire. All right, you're talking about 806, not another one of our top stories. Police in D.C. have released body camera footage that paints a fuller picture of what happened when one of their officers shot a man who ended up not being the suspect they were looking for. D.C. News Now's Katie Rhee is in the studio with us this morning. Katie, you had a chance to watch the video. Can you tell us how all this began in the first place?
Now, this all started out as a call for an assault. D.C. police say a woman was struck with a metal pipe, but then this situation turned into an officer-involved shooting when police say a man refused to get out of a parked car. Now, the video is a little over 5 minutes long. It shows when an MPD officer sees a man, now identified as 38-year-old Stephen Shaw, enter a parked car near the area of the assault. Police were combing through that area looking for the suspect who assaulted a woman with a metal pipe. The officer approached the car and then told Shaw to get out and also to stop reaching into his pockets. Shaw continued to deny any involvement in the incident, but police say he reached into his waistband, and then the officer fired his service weapon, hitting Shaw in the abdomen. Shaw was then removed from the car and taken to a local hospital for treatment. Now, in the hospital, Shaw was found with cocaine and has since been charged with possession with the intent to distribute that cocaine. Now, MPD is also carrying out an internal investigation into this incident, and the officer involved has been placed on leave. Now, back to that original point, and another man, a 59-year-old from Southeast D.C., was arrested and charged with assault with significant bodily injury and threats to do bodily harm in connection to that assault. For DC News Now, I'm Katie Rhee. Back to you.
All right, Katie, with an important update there. Thanks so much. It is 8:07, new this morning out of Columbus, Georgia. It's a city that borders Alabama, where 9 kids have been injured in a mass shooting at a gas station. All of it happening following a party that was going on nearby. The youngest of the victims, 5 years old. Hannah James from our sister station in Columbus has the latest.
5, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 17. Those are the ages of the 9 children injured in a Friday night shooting at a Shell gas station on Warm Springs Road. Over a dozen law enforcement officials responded to the scene from both the Columbus Police Department and Muskogee County Sheriff's Office. Columbus Police Chief Freddie Blackman tells news outlets the shooting stems from an altercation that took place at a party in the surrounding area.
What I do want to say to our parents, let's make sure that we know where our children are. Let's make sure we know what our children have in their possession. And what I want to say to everyone, let's make sure we get involved and work towards helping to communicate how to peacefully resolve differences of opinions, how to peacefully resolve conflict without resorting to gunfire.
Evidence markers at the scene indicated rounds were fired in multiple areas around the gas station. Blackman says the youngest victim, a 5-year-old boy, was at the gas station with a family member when he got caught in the crossfire.
This epidemic that's sweeping our nation of this lack of maturity or mental acuity to be able to make a decision on some of these young people's parts, I just get tired of seeing folks when they have a disagreement or an argument or maybe even a fist fight. They think they have to reach for a gun and go to deadly force. That's just got to stop. We have to find a way as a community to reclaim our young people.
And the city plans to do just that.
The young people that refuse to take advantage of the organizations and the programs that are out there to improve themselves, give themselves an opportunity at a really good life, and they want to stay on the street and committing the crimes, then it becomes public safety's responsibility to catch them, lock them up for as long as we can.
Reporting from Columbus, I'm Hannah James. Back to you.
All right, your time now, 8:10, and if you are heading out for an early morning run, well, it's a little bit chilly out there. You're seeing those temperatures in the upper 30s. It will be a cloudy start to our Sunday before sunshine returns this afternoon, and our winds are very light, shifting out of the south. Now, overall, looking ahead for the next 3 days, highs will be in the 50s with lots of sunshine. And then it looks like heading into Monday and Tuesday, we're back into the 60s, but rain does return to our area. And overall, it's shaping out to be a nice next couple of 3 days. But then heading into the end of the work week, we got 70s to talk about with some showers. So definitely keep it here. We'll have a check of that, Joe, coming up.